So the Invitational 13 has finally been announced, and we've been waiting so long for it to happen and for the players to be selected. With the game starting tomorrow, it was quite on a deadline. We got the announcement today at 3 o'clock, and we put it up on cricketfanaticsmag.com. And this show, we're going to be speaking about the Invitational 11, the Invitational 13, the squad of 13 that was selected. And I'll also be discussing a little bit about the Women's World Cup game tomorrow. It's a knockout game for the women team, and it's a very important clash if they want to go through to the semifinals. I will discuss that with you guys as well at the end of the show. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things that I'd love you guys to please do is please subscribe to this channel. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, and share. And also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also help us promote and grow South African cricket. And also you can help Cricket Fanatics magazine out so that we can go to different games, fly around the country and cover different games around the country as well by becoming a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to hearing from you guys and talking to you guys on the latest daily. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, there is quite a lot to get through to today, guys, so bear with me. I'm almost going to be chatting to you guys in the live chat and seeing what you guys have to say as well. So send in your questions, send in your comments, and I'll read them out today on the show and try to talk about them as well. So, let's start with it. Let's start with the main thing, and that is obviously the Invitational 11. So, the Invitational 11 was released, and the Invitational 13, sorry, was released, and this is the team that was picked. It's Deval Previs, Wandile Makwetu, Jefferson Pillay, Daniel Smith, and in the seaming department, we got Corbin Boss, Chlumpo, Madi Makwani, we got Tando and Tini, Cody Yusuf, and in the all-rounders department, under Swat, Evan Jones. I put Vian Libbe in there too, Bryce Parsons. I consider him an all-rounder. Some players might. And then we also have Smangaliso Mhlebele, who is also in the spinning department. Now, there are two names, obviously, that stand out, of course, that I don't know too much about. Obviously, Naklebele and as well as Modi Makwani. As two players that I don't know too much about. These two surprise entrances into this team that I don't really know much about, but I do have their stats available. I went to go and research them. Um, when it comes to Modi Makwani, he's played for KZN Coastals and Northwest. He's only bowled 40 overs for KZN Coastals, 240 balls. He's taken 1 wicket and his average is 135. But that stats for his Northwest, that is pretty good. In 20 overs bowled, 119 balls, 4 wickets and 1950 average. When it comes to Glebele, we have the Dolphin. He played for the Dolphins 2 matches, 5 wickets, an average of 50. Then he's played for KZN, which he's played for most of his games, 31 matches, 83 wickets at an average of 25.53. So that's brilliant. I mean, that conversion and etc. and the amount of wickets he's taken compared to matches is phenomenal. And then he's also played for KZN Coastal with 9 matches and 19 wickets at 33.9 for an over. I'm going to get the co-host for today on the show, and that's Kelly. Welcome to the show, Kelly. I'm just discussing quickly what the invitational side is. I see you back in load shedding again.
No, zero lights. Getting darker a little. It's just a little bit of spooky lights.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so that's the invitational squad for you as well. I know you've seen it already, but I'm just going to put it up on the screen again. It's the 13-man squad. Interesting selections. Let's get your takes first and foremost before I start speaking about it. I mean, I did speak about two players that are a little bit unknown, and that's Hlompo and Smangaliso, which are two players that maybe we don't know about. If you do have some insight, you could possibly share with us. That would be great on those two. But what is your thoughts on the overall 13 first and foremost? Just unmute.
They were a little late to push the red button going into this. I see they've taken players that are slightly surplus to requirements, aside from, I believe, I was actually surprised to see Bryce Parsons in that side and Miranda Sard as well.
Yeah,
Other
I mean,
than that, there are guys there that have not got a lot of cricket under their belts. First class cricket, red ball cricket, let's put it that way, because it's not going to have first class status.
I'm looking at the squad, and I want people to understand something before we start actually going into this a lot more in detail. What you need to understand is that the way this works and the way this particular teams were selected, I'm talking about to the fans out there right now in the live chat. The unions were asked to release players that were available. Okay, so they asked the unions to release a set of names, and from those names that were released, that's how they selected their squad. So that was completely in the hands of the likes of the unions and the coaches that are available. Um, I see would have loved to have seen Stubbs and Herman, but the Warriors playing crucial for the games, it would have been difficult. Yeah, so I don't think the aim of the year was to pick a SA side because it's only a 3-day game, and a lot of from my understanding as well is that a lot of the 4-day cricket games, it's crunch time now, of course, for those teams. I mean, some of them are going for the title and some of them are fighting for relegation. So a lot of teams weren't really necessarily in a position to release players. Some maybe had injuries, some are waiting for players to return. So there has been a lot of obstacles in the way of the selectors when it comes to this particular team, this particular squad that was selected. And that's why I understand why they went with certain players. And I get your point, Kelly, 100%. Let's just dive in a little bit on that. Because I'm trying to understand the Dolphins' thoughts after these two players actually won them a match with a bat. I mean, Bryce just scored 100. He's made 100. So it was quite a little bit of a shock that they let him go. But I think there are certain players that maybe are returning. It's a 20 guys probably, like Marcus Ackerman probably, and Cyril Ever will probably come back. I'm not sure who else is out there. That maybe, and I don't know if Andile is available or what's happening with him as well. So it's interesting to see what they went that they let them go actually for this particular match.
I think the rationale here was to give guys who would normally benefit from a semi-pro structure a little bit more exposure. Because even Bryce Parsons, he got rather inconsistent game time. I mean, he played a fairly, not in terms of weight of runs, but a fairly crucial knock in one of the one-day games in the One Day Cup, and he's not playing. So, he didn't play another game, so he's playing here. It's a good thing to see consistency, though, from the domestic selectors in backing players like Ethan Bosch, who has maintained his presence as the Dolphins. Because I think he's really cemented that spot as his own. And I think he'd be the type of, that's where you differentiate between the SAA call and the SA Invitational call. Because one is going to be usually a 4-day match, and the other one is an unofficial fixture. Usually at the whether the touring team schedule allows it.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty simple. I mean, when you think about it, the fact that the unions were heavily involved with regards to releasing players, we obviously see that it's very clear to see that the Knights don't have anybody in there, Boland don't have anybody in there, and Western Province don't have anybody in there. So it's pretty clear to see that that they didn't want to release anybody, unfortunately. I was trying to think from Western Province who could possibly have been released, and I can't really think of anyone, given that they
I
are
mean,
in a crunch time in their 4-day competition.
if Tony's been called up and Brass is opening in the Invitational, I mean, there's no point in adding Eddie Moore to an Invitational side. There's not much for him to benefit with that bunch of guys, to be perfectly honest. He's been involved in far too many SAA tours by now. Daniel Smith being involved is positive, I think, for him.
So it's very clear to see. I don't think they wanted to pick a SA team here. It was definitely not an SA team. So the thought process was that it's definitely the thought process that these players that would possibly be in an SA side will obviously benefit more from playing 4-day cricket to obviously help their teams either get success or to get their scores up or to get their averages up, etc. It's more beneficial for them to actually play 4-day cricket. Do you agree with me on that one, or?
Yeah, definitely. Because firstly, with 3-day cricket, they used to have different rules. I'm not sure if it still applies, but they used to have different follow-on rules, different points rules. Like the ball would become, you ask for a new ball a little sooner than usual. I'm not sure that if that still applies after COVID, because a lot of these players have come to the fore in the interim period where I haven't been able to watch them develop as I would usually have done. So there's a big difference between 3-day cricket and 4-day cricket.
Yeah. So Lawrence, obviously you were. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
So Lawrence, you made a fair point here, and this is exactly what I think happened. It's the case of Irvia coming back, and then the 6-5 rule split with regards to transformation as well. For both of those players, Rowan, and
that's entirely fair because the Tole was there already. Irvia could have sat out.
Yeah, but they're not going to leave out Irvia. They're not going to leave out Irvia.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, and I'm saying, look, Avia has been involved in the whole SA20, and it would have been more beneficial for a 22-year-old player who just coming off a century, who's been given a chance here and there for the Dolphins, to have not been released. And you can have older players not players who are intrinsically bound in the national side. That's the point of an SAA tour, is to have players who are really close to the fringes. But those guys who are sort of on their, way out, or who are, just trying to give the touring side a bit of a workout, because ordinarily the call comes from how much time that they have, and whether they want to use their whole squad or not. So I wouldn't have released Bryce Parsons, and I don't think that making him a victim of a 6-5 split is entirely fair, considering that the player who replaced him made fewer runs than Detoli in the first innings of the last match. I mean, that was hardly an improvement. So are you only going to speak about quota players when it suits you on the scorecard? Or are you going to say, well, no, Bryce Parsons should absolutely be there. He literally won them a game that was absolutely crucial in terms of points because they're languishing a little bit. And hopefully Sorrel's listening, so he'll add something in his next innings. Because you can't just take the easy route out. You can't take the easy excuse. And you can't blame transformation for everything. And no, Bryce Parsons being left out had nothing to do with transformation. He was left out for Sorrel Avia.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Which I don't agree with, but yeah, it is what it is.
No, I don't agree with it either. But he was. He was saying that he was left out for a player who was already in the squad is pointless. They did switch I mean, like Ruin de Swart being left out, Darren Dupavilon he's in. I'm actually trying to think of who took Ruin de Swart's place now. I must actually look.
Yeah, we must. I must go back as well and look at that as well,
Actually, yeah.
because I mean there was a lot of problems with this 4-day fixtures because of rain and outfield and all of these type of things. But yeah, Abai, welcome to the show, brother. I'm going to put up. Can you? I don't know if you have. Can you just say something? Do I know your sound?
Good morning.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put up the invitational side again. What are your thoughts on it? Bearing in mind that unions, obviously, you saw the group. I explained the way the setup worked with regards to unions, releasing players, and then from that, players that were available, a selection was made, a 13-man selection was made. So, what's your thoughts on the squad, and who you happy for, who you're not happy for, etc.?
Okay, you can keep the squad. Yeah, I can say what I want to say, but I think there are a couple of names that don't quite ring a bell, but I do recognize a lot of these names. Um, a lot of them are recent under 19 players. I think Ruan Desvart, he played a bit for the Dolphins and I think the Titans before that. I think uh, yeah, I think Mori Mokwane. I don't think that's a name that rings a bell, but I'm happy for him considering I think I'm seeing his name for the first time in an invitational team. I think yeah, I think when it comes to I think Corbin Bosch should be considered an all rounder. Honestly, yeah, his batting is more than good enough to be an all rounder. Daniel Smith, I know he's an under 19 captain. He has some experience playing for the Cobras. I do remember seeing Makwetu from the under 19 Cup as well as I believe he played for the Knights. So I think in general, I like the fact that a lot of players that seem to be on the fringes of their franchise side, they're getting more exposure. I mean, even if we look at Vian Lubbe, there are some experienced names in there, so I think it's a good blend of young talent as well as experienced campaigners to sort of balance it out.
Hmm. So I'm going to get to some of the comments over here as well to see what the guys are having to say. Uh, is someone asking, is Corbin Bosch in any way related to Ethan Bosch? Yes, they're
Yeah, they're
brothers.
brothers, I think.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The bowling seems a little light. No, if you guys feel the same. Considering was it available, I think it should be okay. I mean, we don't know about some of those bowlers, the spinner, of course, and we don't know as well about the fast bowler that was selected as well. It seems that in for KZN, like I said, um, his wickets are. I mean, his average is pretty good for the amount of matches he's played for KZN. Now, this is obviously a 3-day game, so it's like semi-pro. So, I mean, that's semi-pro stats, and he probably is one of the best semi-pro bowlers that we produced in these times. I think he's about 24 years old. Um, Smangaliso, I'm obviously talking about. I mean, took 83 wickets in 31 matches, an average of 25.53 in semi-pro cricket. So he's used to this 3-day format vibe. So I think there are some decent players that we maybe don't know about, that we maybe see what they can do against a Windies side.
It's a bit
Stuart
spin
says he's
heavy.
surprised. Yeah, Bo?
Spin heavy. Part-time spin heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, also Cody Yusuf, proper bowler as well. Surprised that Dewald. I'm happy for Parsons and Cody Yusuf. Now, it is quite surprising that Dewald Brevis got selected, but in my opinion, this was the perfect match for him to get introduced to red ball cricket. I think it's against an international team. He's going to get a high standard and it's going to be an introduction to red ball cricket. He's not going to play for the Titans. He's just sitting, rotting away on the bench there. There's no space for him there. I mean, my suggestion to him would actually be for him to just leave the Titans and find a place that is going to back him and give him the time to grow as
Next
well.
season,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, that's a good option actually. That's actually a good option actually. If I think about it, that will be like a big star signing for them. People actually can watch the Northern Cape games because Devon's there. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he'd play on a
no,
road. If it bounced,
no, no.
he'd play on a road.
You know what? I think when it comes to Brevis, I think people sort of have to calm down a bit. I think all Protea fans, they recognize the fact that he's an exceptional talent for his age, but at the same time, if we look at how he's done in the SA20, he did start off with a 70 odd, but a lot of his innings after that were quick cameos. So he's still sort of in the finding his feet sort of stage. I mean, if as far as international cricket is concerned, I'm obviously open to him getting a T20 call up because I think uh, even if we look at the IPL, he's played a handful of good knocks there. But I think when it comes to those who are calling for his inclusion in Test cricket, I think domestic experience can be very important, and I think it should be a prerequisite because even if we look at examples from all over the world, when players get picked with like little first class experience and do well, they're sort of the exception. They're not quite the norm. So I think, uh, yeah, I think maybe like a full season of first class cricket, and maybe as Khalid said, I think a move in the franchise team could be beneficial for him, because clearly it doesn't. It seems pretty evident that the Titans may or may not give him game time in the longest format anytime soon.
Yeah. I'm also very happy for Vian Lubber. I think this will be a massive opportunity for him. But the person I'm going to ask you about, Kelly, I want to ask you this question because you'll be the best position to answer this. Lunt asks, where Stubbs didn't see him playing for the Warriors.
Um, well, it was going to be between him and Rudy second, I reckon.
Yeah. So what about him being in this particular side? Was that maybe something they missed?
He's already played for SAA. I also think that the thing is he's played so much cricket this season that I'd rather see guys who haven't had that exposure get the exposure.
Interesting.
Like, there's a big difference between the game management of a Jordan Hammond and a Tristan Stubbs versus a Devil Brevis. And watching Devil play towards the back end of the SA20, he seems to lack a lot of confidence. And that's something that, a good knock against a West Indies side in a tour match might get him back on track, might engineer a place in a first class side for the Titans. Because, I mean, they're not always going to have a full strength batting lineup. And the key is he has to make that batting lineup. And unlike Jordan and Tristan, Devil does have fundamental flaws that he needs to sort out.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
most
guys,
people watch the show know what they are.
mm-hmm. So I'm going to pose a question to both of you. Devat will probably play. Where do you play him? Do you open with him with Jefferson Pele, for example, someone that he knows from one day cricket? Or do you play him in the middle order somewhere, 3, 4, 5, 6? Seeing that he hasn't had opportunity to play red ball cricket, he hasn't played first class cricket ever. So, given that opportunity, do you protect him? Do you bat him down the order, or do you bat him middle, that's 4, or do you open with him? What would you guys do? Let's start with a bye, and then we can move to Kelly.
Um, if it were left to me, I'd say bring him in at number 4 at 2 down. I mean, I think that's usually a spot where a lot of newcomers sort of began, and that's where they can adjust. And if he ends up like enhancing his game as time goes on, maybe he could open at a later stage. But I think number four is a good place to start. In fact, I think the other day, I think it was Yashar in the WhatsApp group. He was saying, a lot of players can be placed into two groups when it comes to like being back. Like some people tend to do well when they're just given plenty of support. Like, don't worry if things go wrong, we're gonna back you no matter what. And then there are others who are like, um, if they're thrown a bigger challenge, like, is that all you're able to do? Like, with your level of talent, you've got to be able to do better than that. So I think with regards to Devald, I think the first approach is probably better, at least at this stage, because he's still gaining experience. He's still so early in his career, and there are infinite possibilities, right?
Mhm. I mean,
You
Kelly, we
just
could probably give it away, but if when you select the team, I mean, Vian opened, I think, for Warriors, didn't he? Or
Vian
where did
has
Pat?
opened. Vian has
Yeah.
opened for the Warriors. Vian can also bat down the order, but usually is top. I mean, this is a top order heavy side, the most
Yes.
part. Um, I I don't know if he'll open. He might. I'm keen to see who the West Indies offer up, because the thing is I'm not a fan of shielding Devils. I think he needs to learn how to play pace, and it's not going to count against him now. It's one big free hit.
Doesn't count.
He's young enough that no one's going to hold this against him. Like he might not be a natural opener, but like top 3, 4 at the lowest.
Yeah. And people forget about it because it's not counting for his average and stuff. It doesn't count for
He isn't
stats.
counting
So
for his average. So he should go
yeah.
out there not feeling any pressure. And I hope he isn't. And at least he's in a side where he doesn't feel like there are bigger players than him that he needs to listen to, which is what I was worried
Mhm.
about with that MI Cape Town side.
I see
So
Justin's asked me a question about who should be the captain. So if from my opinion, that also leads into what you said, Kelly, because from this list over here, the only person that's actually captain the 4-day side is actually Vian Libber. So he will be my first choice probably for captain for the side, and if he's captain, then he definitely plays, is it not?
well, they're all going to play. It's an unofficial.
Mm,
It's not official. They can all play.
mm.
All the batsmen can bat. Bowlers can bowl. So that's my understanding of it anyway. You just restrict yourself to those 10 wickets. And that's how it worked with the England Lions game before the Test series.
Okay,
But since
let's see some more.
That's what I was going. And Vian Liver, yeah, probably it. He might open with Parsons, but if he's captain, he might drop himself down the order.
Okay, let me get to some of the more questions over here. Stuart asked where Jordan Herman. Why he's surprised that Jordan Herman's been left out. He's playing for the Warriors. Almost got 100 today. Yesterday. So there was no way they're going to pick him out. He'll probably make an SAA side. So remember, guys, this is not an SAA side. It's an invitational side. Invitational sides are normally there to give guys an opportunity, the unknown guys a chance, and also it depends on the unions and who they provided for selection.
I don't think Devil
The thing
Breakers
is,
is unknown. I'm kidding.
yeah. The thing is, tennis moved to the nights and it worked out to an extent. I know it would be a different other franchises, but if he moves, I'd like him to go to a team like the Warriors or the Lions. I don't think so because there are too many players there that are doing well at those two franchises for Devil to even get a site. I think Kelly's suggestion of like one of the teams that
No,
gets called up
Northwest,
would be a good idea for one of the teams that
Northern
get called up.
possibly.
Yeah.
Hanekun was
Northwest.
middle order, but possibly Northwest. Maybe the Rocks would be looking for someone. The Warriors, no. If they can't, like, they probably like he'd have to fit behind in the queue, like Vian's still in that queue and Tristan's in the queue. You'd have to fit behind them.
Yeah.
He's got no first class
100%.
experience, so he's going to naturally fall behind them in the first class queue. It doesn't matter if you say he's a generational talent now, the others have got first class hundreds, and they've been part of the squad for a while. So I don't, and the Warriors have Gretzky as well, Diego Rosier, and Jordan Hammond. So unless Jordan Hammond goes on tour somewhere, which is not going to happen before the squad is announced for any given season, I don't think that for once the Warriors batting is not the place to go. Usually I would say it would be, but not at the moment.
Okay, Shaylin's actually summed it up perfectly. He says, this ain't an SA side, like I said before. Can't Mintini, Naklibela, and Modokwane are in this bracket. It's simply a competitive team which are spare players to their franchises. 100%, 100%,
Fair enough.
100%.
That's
Fair enough. Okay, guys, I want to move on. We've covered this in quite depth. We've went through all the players. I've spoken about it enough. We've spoken almost 30 minutes on this. Let's move on to another important matter, and that is the Proteas women. They need to win this game to qualify for the
The Bangladesh.
semifinals. It's going to be a crunch game for the ladies, and I'm really hoping that they will get over the line. I will be at Newlands to watch the game as well. So I'm gonna get something for you guys so you can see. Put it up on the screen. Here we go.
Let's see it.
Yeah, this wait a minute. Present share screen official. No sound, please, because I don't want weird things to be playing from this website because sometimes videos just play by itself on this website. But over here, okay, wait, maybe I'll do it like this. Jeez, it's so slow. My lord.
You want me to share my screen?
No, it's okay. No worries. I think it's
Okay.
Okay, cool. I'm reconnected. So here's the
you guys freeze there.
Think you're frozen.
Yeah, Frozen also.
Well, I kind of do know the leaderboard off the top of my head. I think just a win for South Africa is going to be enough. So,
Yeah, I hate leaving it up to other teams though.
well, guess what? We've
This
hijacked the show now. How about that?
happens at our home World Cups. Unfortunately, we are at the mercy of Sri Lanka again.
Well, they already lost their match to New Zealand. So, yeah, all that South Africa has to do is beat Bangladesh, and I hope the Proteas women can teach the men what to do in crunch games, because it's about time these guys perform in crunch games.
It just
I
happens
I
that
I,
Sri Lanka is involved. When I saw
I
the
think they're
first,
gonna win it.
it's always Sri Lanka involved. Some people in the chat probably don't even remember this happened.
Oh
2003,
no, he's back again.
good list
Oh
in
no.
pocket, and like, oh, it's a tie. Net run rates. At least I think it was a
Yeah,
tie. I was 9.
yeah. So the table for you guys again. Sorry, guys, the connection just kicked out. Load shedding is irritating me, honestly. Anyway,
But in
I'd buy you very good at the maths, Kelly. You're quite good at maths as well compared to me. So South Africa wins the match.
this is
Um, what
Yeah,
is the
they'll
permutations for that?
overtake New Zealand if they win the match.
Yeah.
So even if it's a win by 1 run, we don't care.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So that's the permutations, guys, and we want our team to qualify, of course. I mean, I have a little bit of insight that I can read to you guys out on the channel now. I'm going to do so for you guys. I just want to give you some insight into what Laura Wolfhard had to say in the press conference ahead of this game. It's obviously a very important knockout game. I drove all the way to Newlands, by the way, for this bloody press conference. Okay, it's not that far. I'm making it seem like I had to drive 40 kilometers. I drive.
you can walk to Newlands. Why don't you
I
drive
can
there?
walk to Newlands. I can walk to Newlands. Okay, so I'm making a big thing about nothing, but basically we got to the stadium and then they told us no, it's going to be online. So Aviyile joined the Zoom and he did this particular piece. So guys, please follow it. This is some of the quotes that she had to say. She said, "A lot of us feel fortunate to be in a position and to be able to still have a chance to qualify for the semifinals. It's a vital game for us tomorrow. We're just trying to stay focused on our processes. The last game didn't go as we liked, but there's just going to stick to our plans, and hopefully we can execute them better tomorrow." She said it's never nice to not make runs, especially at home in tournament. She said it's supposed to be a very special time for me, so not making runs is quite frustrating. But I think at the end of the day, I'm still hitting the ball pretty well in the nets. I just need to stay calm and trust runs will come, and when they need to. I don't know how much has to do with us cursing her, but I'll speak to you guys about that now. The crowds have been amazing, and all of them have been very different, which is cool. I think tomorrow there will be a lot of people again, and it's my home ground at Newlands. Plus, it's an important game, so it's going to be important to have that crowd behind us. So, the main factor for me, it's simple, very simple for the women. Just bat properly, they'll win the match because ultimately they have got a very good bowling attack. They take pressure, they play under pressure situations very well when it comes to the bowling attack. But the batters have just been absolutely poor. So if they just put on a performance tomorrow, the batters put on a decent total, or they're in form with the chase, I feel that they will be able to win. I don't think it's raining tomorrow, London's from what I've seen. Let's just double check. So I hope that
Yeah,
oh, if we get killed by the weather again, I'm gonna be peeved off. No, it's sunny tomorrow, it's according to the weather, because
um,
we got messed around by the weather against Australia in a game that we should have won. In the last T20
although
T20
I
World
do
Cups
think
ago.
there should be a rejig in the batting lineup. I would prefer Marizan coming a little bit later.
Yes, thank you for saying it.
Nadine de Klerk has been batting
I think we're
really
all on the
well
same page
lately.
there.
And Marizan at 3. I don't know if her temperament. I know she's heading into the twilight of her career now, and that's, I mean, partially why the reason why male players can drop a little bit further down the order as well. There's nothing wrong with batting at 4 or even 5. She's perfectly capable of clearing the boundaries. Why not pick the player who has who looks to be in good touch instead of letting her come in when the game's lost?
Bye.
Yeah, I agree with most of that. I think with regards to Laura, it's not abnormal for a very good player of her kind to be short on runs, but here comes a golden opportunity. I mean, this game is it's literally do or die for the Proteas. So if
And
she can get it together, yeah. What was that?
you can see by the show that she's somebody like from my part of South Africa. So like I'd back her completely, but um, sometimes there's passing of the torch in cricket, and she's 33. Might be
Yeah,
time to give it a try. I mean, it's not like it's dropping her. Might drop her one place down the order. That's it.
yeah. I guess that would make sense. But if we look at if we look at Laura's situation, it just goes to highlight the fact that in addition to your skills, cricket's very much a mental game. I mean, we only have to look as far as the two test matches between India and Australia that just finished,
Mhm.
and I tend to think along the lines that the Australians were kind of overthinking things a bit about the pitch and whatnot. But regardless of conditions, like if you're a seamer, for instance, you always want to try to hit the top of off stump or try to get swing or whatever the case may be. So similar to that, I just think Laura should just trust her technique, and
Laura,
if
I'm
she,
talking about Marizon, by the way.
yeah, even with Marizon, I
Laura,
think if
Laura's
she
not
shifts
not
down the order, it's probably better, right?
Laura's not open at top of the game. She's not
Yeah,
T20 is not her best format, but
yeah.
she's a top of her game generally, and she's brilliant to watch. I just think that
You know her cover drive, it's a work of art.
is a work of art. But the shot selection that Marizan has employed recently is counterproductive, especially especially when there has been a good opening partnership. She's come in and she hasn't needed to immediately go looking for boundaries.
Hmm.
It's just it seems somewhat impatient. I mean, the
Yeah.
score against Australia could have been a good 20 runs, 30 runs more had she played with a little bit more, circumspection.
Abhay, you want to say a little bit more on that and on Laura particularly because you started with Laura?
Yeah. So all I was
I
saying
didn't
is,
mention Laura, by the
huh?
way.
What was that?
I didn't mention Laura.
Okay, yeah. Um, yeah. Ultimately, you just have to go out there and be yourself. I mean, it doesn't really get any simpler than that. Like, um, you because results are just incidental. I mean, if you do what you're good at and you back your strengths, the results it will come automatically. That's the way I tend to think, and yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if we see uh, like a half century or even better knock from Laura sometime soon.
I don't doubt Laura at all.
Yeah,
I actually think that that opening stand
No,
between her
I don't
and
think he was going against you. Yeah, I don't think he was saying
yeah,
that you were saying that. He was just giving his own
like
point on Laura. I think.
yeah, I thought that Laura and Tasman Brits played that perfectly. That's where Marizan should have been able to come in, consolidate a little bit, and then take the attack to the Australian bowlers.
Yeah, boom. Okay, so I think it's maybe some voodoo involved because when it comes to Cricket Fanatics magazine, we put Aiden Markram on the front cover of a Vision 2023 mag, did poorly. Put Pavuma on the front cover of a T20 mag, did poorly. We put Aiden on the T20 mag. Okay, he did okay in that one. I'm not gonna lie. We put George Van Heerden on the mag of the didn't do so well in the okay, he did okay in the World Cup, I guess. We put Dean on the mag of being a captain, and then we put poor in England. Then Abada in the T20 World Cup magazine did poorly.
Paul
oh
Then we
no.
put Stubbs. Then we put Stubbsy on the SA20 magazine, scored no runs, and then we put Laura on the cover of this year's magazine, and she's scored no runs. So I'm hoping that she'll prove me wrong, and that it's not a Cricket Fanatics magazine curse that's starting over here.
it's not
Who
part of
says
it
things
is
can't change? Who says things can't change? I mean,
I'm going
just like
to
records are
request
there to
you,
be broken,
and then it's
right?
not going to work.
Yep, curses are meant to be broken. You're right,
and
Abai.
and
100%.
history doesn't always repeat itself, right? Right?
You're right. Yes, it's in front of our home crowd. I'm just hoping that she puts on a performance tomorrow. Okay, let's get your final thoughts, guys, on everything on the show today. I'm going to start with you, Kelly, and then we're going to end off with Abai. This is your uninterrupted time. So even if you say things that I disagree with, I'm not going to interrupt you. Just go for it and have your say before we sign off.
Okay, essentially, I think that the this squad, I think people shouldn't read too much into. Also, if players don't come off in this invitational side, I'm going to focus more now on this invitational side than the women's side because we know what the women need to do to get through, and they're just going to have to do it. Um, the um, the invitational 13, I wouldn't put a weight of expectation on any of their shoulders because a lot of them haven't played that much cricket in the recent past. So if they do well, then it's a bonus, and then hopefully it'll do a hell of a lot for their confidence and a lot for their ability to cement a spot in the first class starting lineup for their franchise. Because these are the guys we miss out seeing in semi-pro cricket. So basically, I'm just looking for the bonus performances. I want to see something different from some of the players that I haven't seen before. I want to see Devil play through the offside, take on a short ball. I want to see
I'm nervous for you. I'm nervous.
what were you said you weren't going to interrupt.
Yeah, no, I said I'm nervous for Devil. I'm sorry. That's why I spoke so softly. Mute my mic.
Yeah, but you know that the same bowlers were in the SA20 and they weren't all that scary. He can handle it. He can handle it. He just needs to go to a normal coach and not AB for pointers. And I'd like to see Bryce Parsons continue to score some runs, as well as Randa Swart. And Makwetu, haven't seen him bat for a long time. So hopefully it can be a good move for him as well.
All right. I think first
But
things.
before you go, this is
Yeah.
something that was said over here that I was going to check the press release. It was not here. That's an interesting question, Lawrence, because I don't know who's the coach of the side. They didn't tell us. So I don't know who's going to be coaching. Maybe it is Shukri. He will take the arm probably for this invitational. I don't know. Before
I'm
he leaves
surprised
for
Rudy
the.
not there as player coach.
Sorry, bye. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with the invitational team. So yeah, for those who still aren't convinced, it's simply a launch pad for those who don't regularly get game time in their franchise scene to show what they've got, and it's kind of a pressureless situation, right? Because if you do nicely, you move up the ranks, and even if things don't go as planned, it's likely you'll still get chances in your domestic side. But that being said, I'm always excited whenever I see a lot of young players named in a squad. It's always refreshing to see. And as far as the South Africa versus Bangladesh game is concerned, I may get a chance to watch it live. But yeah, I'm excited for that game. Um, I mean, the equation is pretty simple. I think the team knows what they have to do. Um, so yeah. So basically, let's just see what happens. Finally, yeah, one more thing I want to add about the test squad. I'm happy with most of the selections. Obviously, feel bad for Kyle and Lungi, but it's not like they will not be able to get back into test plans anytime soon. I mean, they're both beyond good enough to re-enter the test squad ASAP. So, but with that being said, I'm happy for Tony DeZorzi, who got his first test call up. Still remains to be seen if he's going to end up getting game time, but this is a good place to start. But on the whole, I'm excited for what Shukri Conrad's going to do for the test team. I think he's a very smart guy. Goes about his business. He definitely knows what he's doing. So positive outlook, positive attitude all the way.
I did ask to see who's coaching the side. Sorry, I was on mute. Let's see if I get a response before the end of the show.
Yeah, it is Maketa.
How do we know?
I think it's someone else confirmed. I think it's Lethe.
No, but I don't know if they're right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
I
didn't
think
get.
it's
We would have.
us
I think it will be
too.
Shooks.
I was worried I confused someone by saying Rondile Makwetu because I was excited to see him I haven't seen him play for a while.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm just waiting for a response. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one right now when I'm live, though. Because I do think that it can be Shukri. I mean, he could be the one that coaches the side and then goes off with the Proteas. Where is this invitational game, by the way, guys? Well, one more parking, but only it's very likely that it's probably the Shukri that will take the reins for this particular match. I haven't gotten a response now, guys, so won't be able to tell you. But yeah, it is an SA invitational side, not an SAA side. So I doubt they'll take the SAA coach. I'm not sure. It will be an interesting one because, from my understanding, it would make more sense for me to if Shukri does take it. But okay, anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Please click that notification bell for all future videos. So also a couple of things that I need you guys to please do for me, and that's download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. If you want to help us grow and promote South African cricket, then please become a patron today. Also, if you want to help Cricket Fanatics grow, please. You can pay for my plane tickets to Joburg, guys, because I'm going to Joburg for the Test series in Centurion. So you guys can give me some money for Uber from Lanseria because it's quite expensive. So become a patron today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Also, you can go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all regular updates. If I do get an update on who will be coaching the side, I will put it in the comment section on this particular video. So please go to the comment section while you're doing your comments and go look for it there. I'll try to pin it to the top of the video. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Abai, for coming on the show. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with another. Yes. I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably with another daily show. I'll try my best to get home in time after the game to be able to come live to you with another show. It might be a little bit later than normal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it will be a little bit later than normal. So just be patient with me. I'll probably do it around 8, 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock for a daily show. Sorry, Abai. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys again for another daily show. Peace out, everyone.